For 20 years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban sold the world a story. The picture-perfect romance. The Hollywood actress and the country music superstar who somehow beat the odds, stayed together, and raised a family far away from the chaos of celebrity scandals. But this week, that fairy tale came crashing down, with Nicole officially filing for divorce after 2 decades of marriage. And the details that are starting to leak out? They suggest this wasn't just a slow fade. It wasn't just growing apart. No, this was messy, one-sided, and possibly filled with secrets that the public was never supposed to see. So, what really happened inside the marriage that seemed unbreakable? Why did Keith allegedly walk away when Nicole was still fighting to save them? And are the rumors about affairs, addiction, and jealousy true? Let's break down the scandal behind Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's shocking split. The Instagram anniversary that wasn't real. 5 days before the divorce news broke, Nicole Kidman did what millions of wives do. She posted a sweet anniversary tribute on Instagram. A cozy photo with Keith on the couch, guitar in his lap, Nicole leaning into him with that signature smile. The caption read, "Happy anniversary, baby." But here's the twist. At that exact moment, Keith and Nicole were already living apart. Insiders revealed they'd been separated since the summer. Nicole was in their Nashville home with their daughters, while Keith was living in another residence across the city. So why post the photo? Was Nicole trying to convince herself, or the world, that things were fine? Some fans are now calling it the Instagram lie, pointing out that it looked more like PR damage control than a genuine celebration of love. Others speculate that Nicole was desperately trying to hold on to the marriage while Keith had already checked out. And that brings us to the ugliest part of this story, the one-sided split. The one-sided breakup. According to sources, Nicole didn't want this. She was fighting to keep the marriage alive. She wanted counseling, reconciliation, family unity. But Keith? He was done. Multiple outlets reported that the decision to separate was one-sided, and that side was Keith's. Nicole was left caring for their daughters alone, while Keith moved into a different house and buried himself in his music. Now, this is where the speculation gets intense. Why would Keith walk away so abruptly from a 20-year marriage? Why did Nicole, a woman who once survived a brutal divorce from Tom Cruise, end up blindsided again? Insiders claim that something happened earlier this summer that made Keith pull the plug. Some whisper it was an explosive fight. Others suggest Keith discovered something about Nicole, or maybe Nicole discovered something about him. And that leads us straight into the rumors of infidelity. Whispers of cheating on tour. Keith Urban has always been a touring artist. Night after night, city after city, surrounded by adoring fans, industry insiders, and late-night after-parties. And while nothing has been proven, whispers about Keith's behavior on the road have circled for years. Some blogs claim Keith was too friendly with female fans backstage. There have been blind items hinting at a country star who keeps a second life while touring. And now, those rumors are resurfacing with full force. Could Keith have been unfaithful? Was Nicole's Instagram anniversary post a desperate cover-up for cracks she already knew about? Even if no affair happened, the mere perception that Keith lived a double life while Nicole stayed home with the kids is enough to fuel speculation. Especially when you remember his complicated history with addiction. Keith Urban's addiction battles resurfacing? Let's not forget, Keith Urban has battled drug and alcohol addiction before. Back in the early years of their marriage, Nicole famously staged an intervention just months after their wedding, pushing him into rehab to save his life. For years, Keith stayed sober and credited Nicole with saving him. But in the past year, fans and insiders noticed he seemed more erratic, more withdrawn. Some gossip outlets are now asking, did Keith relapse? If true, that would explain a lot: the separate living arrangements, Nicole's attempts to fix things, and Keith's final decision to walk away. Some friends allegedly said Nicole felt more like a caretaker than a wife, constantly checking in on Keith, making sure he was okay, holding the marriage together by sheer willpower. And maybe Keith resented that. Maybe he didn't want to be saved anymore. Nicole's Hollywood versus Keith's Nashville. Beyond the addiction whispers and cheating rumors, there's also the undeniable reality. Nicole and Keith lived very different lives. Nicole is an Oscar-winning actress, often filming on location for months at a time, walking red carpets in couture, working with the biggest names in Hollywood. Keith is a country boy at heart, happiest when touring, writing music, or relaxing in Nashville. For years, they balanced those differences. Nicole would fly home between shoots. Keith would join her at award shows. They made it work. But after 20 years? Maybe the cracks became impossible to ignore. Some speculate Keith was tired of being Mr. Kidman. Others whisper Nicole was frustrated with his career taking him away from home. Either way, the growing distance might have been the final nail in the coffin. The explosive fights. Behind the smiles and red carpet photos, insiders say Nicole and Keith's marriage was far from peaceful in the last year. Neighbors in Nashville allegedly noticed Keith staying away from the family home for long stretches. Friends of the couple hint at screaming matches, icy silences, and arguments over money, fame, and family priorities. Nicole reportedly wanted more stability for their daughters. Keith allegedly wanted more freedom on the road. And when those two desires clashed, the fights grew more explosive. Some even claim the final split was triggered by one massive blowout earlier this summer, one so bad that Keith packed up and never came back. The kids in the middle. Sunday Rose, 17, and Faith Margaret, 14, are now caught in the middle of this storm. While Nicole is taking care of them in the Nashville family home, Keith is living separately and focusing on his tour. Some speculate that custody could become a major battle in the divorce proceedings. Nicole, known for being fiercely protective of her children, may want full custody. Keith, however, might demand equal rights, even if his touring schedule makes that complicated. And for the girls themselves, the impact of watching their parents' 20-year marriage implode is something no red carpet glamour can fix. Hollywood in shock. The reaction in Hollywood has been immediate: disbelief. Nicole and Keith were supposed to be the exception, the rare celebrity couple who lasted, who beat the odds. Other stars are reportedly stunned. Fans are digging through old interviews, old photos, old award show speeches, searching for clues. And the gossip blogs? They're having a field day. Some claim Keith has already moved on with someone new. Others say Nicole will use this heartbreak to fuel her next Oscar-winning role. And then there are the blind items, vague but juicy gossip posts about a country star whose wife finally gave up after too many betrayals. Many now believe those were about Keith and Nicole all along. What happens next? So, where does this leave Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban? The divorce proceedings are just beginning. There are assets, homes, and custody agreements to sort out. Will it turn into a messy public courtroom battle, or a private settlement behind closed doors? Speculation also swirls about whether Nicole will eventually give a tell-all interview. After all, she stayed silent for years about her marriage to Tom Cruise. Could this be her chance to finally open up? And what about Keith? Will his upcoming shows reveal signs of heartbreak, or will he act like nothing happened? Fans will be watching closely, searching his lyrics and performances for hidden meaning. The dark side of the fairy tale. At the end of the day, this isn't just another Hollywood divorce. It's the collapse of a story that millions of people believed in, the idea that love, even in the harsh spotlight of fame, could last forever. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban gave us the illusion of perfection. But behind the red carpet smiles were arguments, rumors, addictions, and maybe even betrayals. And now, with the divorce officially filed, the illusion is gone. What remains are two people who couldn't make it work, and a world still desperate to know what really happened. Because in Hollywood, the truth almost never matches the story.